So beautiful people, it is day 6 of our 7-day positivity challenge, and I'm super proud of you for making it to day 6, and I want to thank you and acknowledge you for going through this journey with me. 6 days might not seem like a long time, but as I'm sure some of you have experienced throughout this 6 days, throughout the previous 5 days, you've probably come up against some resistance, some trepidation, some nervousness, whatever your internal experience is. I want you to really make note of it today because it ties in with the prompt of today's video. So keep watching, because in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you a video that I made for my 365-day challenge. I made it a couple days ago because I'm on my own little journey of self-development, and I have a 365-day challenge set forth for myself. So you think a week is long? I'm going 52 weeks with this challenge. But I'll be cutting that video in, and I put it on Instagram so you can also see it there. Then I'll be cutting to the prompt for today's video, and all this is gonna bring you the right context, all right? So keep watching and we'll just dive right into it. All right, so before I show you the video from my 365-day challenge, I want to speak about a few things that I have noticed throughout our 5 days together. I've noticed that some of you have come up against some resistance, whether it's internal or external, people around you judging you, criticizing you, whatever it may be, or your internal resistance, maybe you're judging yourself, criticizing yourself, or there's trepidation, you're nervous about posting, so maybe you thought about making a video, but then you're like, nah, I'll just take a photo. Or maybe you thought about taking a photo, but you're like, nah, I'll just take a picture of something else and put some text over it and some caption. Whatever your experience is, it's okay. It's natural, all right? It's part of the process. Other things that have happened is many of you have actually experienced the benefits of thinking positively. It's only been 5 days, but some of you have already shifted your perspective from maybe seeing things in a negative light to seeing things in a positive light. And again, I want to acknowledge you for that, and I encourage you to acknowledge yourself as well, all right? Now, what do all these things have in common? Self-awareness, all right? The reason I know these things about you is because each of you individually have chosen to share your experience with me and with everyone else participating in this challenge. You've turned on the light, as it were, in parts of your consciousness, and by sharing it with me, you've illuminated it even more. So this is a great opportunity for you to develop your self-awareness. What did we do in day 1? We practiced 3 points of positivity, becoming aware of positive things in your life. Day number 2, we practiced reframing negativity, so being aware of the negative thoughts that you have in your mind and then reframing them in a positive way. Day 3, we talked about the 5 most positive, influential people in your life. Day number 4, we talked about having us to smile big, all right? And then day 6 is gonna be about self-awareness. Now, if you think about each of those individual days, it was meant to have you turn inward and reflect and develop your self-awareness. So that brings us to day 6, where we're gonna really focus on our self-awareness, all right? So with that said, some insight really came to me the other day, and I'm gonna be sharing a video with you from my 365-day challenge. So make sure you watch that all the way through. There's a few nuggets in there. Sup, beautiful people? It is day 33 of my 365-day challenge, and today I want to speak about the importance of developing self-awareness, and self-awareness with compassion and empathy. Now, why do I add those on the end? Because self-awareness can only take you so far. You can be aware of something, but then that awareness, self-awareness of your own habits, your behaviors, can lead to self-judgment, self-criticism, and sabotage. So, let me give you an example. Yesterday, I experienced something that really brought to the forefront of my mind my self-awareness, that I still experience jealousy and envy on a visceral level, all right? What came about is I'm leading a positivity challenge, and I saw somebody else doing another leading their own positivity challenge, and my reaction was jealousy and anger and frustration, essentially a negative reaction. Now, that was my self-awareness. Now, with compassion and empathy and understanding, I was able to pull back and give myself space to realize that if I really believe in delivering a message of positivity, putting positivity into the world, I need to actually shift my mindset and realize that I should celebrate that person. I should acknowledge that person. I should be happy that there's another individual out here in the world talking about positivity, encouraging other people to be positive. Now, if I took that self-awareness and beated myself up, I'm a terrible person, I should not be jealous at that person, I'm bad, that would have destroyed any progress of self-love and self-compassion that I had developed. So with self-awareness, you also need to have self-love, self-compassion, and empathy for yourself, because there's a reason life is a journey, because we're all practicing, we're all developing, and you need to give yourself grace to make mistakes. You need to give yourself grace to fall a few times, because if you beat yourself up for just tripping, you're essentially throwing yourself down a mountain. So give yourself grace and permission, just as I did, and you can move forward way faster with a lot more love, a lot more enjoyment, and a lot more fulfillment. All right, so that was my video on self-awareness, and that video was not planned. I was walking around and it just came to me. I think it was on day 3 of this challenge. I was walking around clearing my head, and it just hit me to talk about self-awareness, and not just the importance of it, but how essential it is to also have compassion and empathy for yourself when you're cultivating self-awareness, because I myself am guilty of using my self-awareness to then judge and criticize myself and beat myself up and sabotage myself. Excuse me. So as you're cultivating your self-awareness, make sure you're doing it with compassion, with empathy, and with grace. And with that said, let's move into today's prompt. All right, so in case you haven't guessed, the prompt for today is self-awareness. Now this one actually involves a little exercise that I like to call my free flow and flame practice. Free flow and flame practice. So you're gonna wanna listen to this part again and again, or take notes, all right? So what you're gonna do is you're gonna actually pause, take a few deep breaths, get an actual notebook, ta-da! All right, so this is not done on your phone, it's not done on your computer, your laptop, it's done in an actual notebook. I know, old school, right? You're also gonna get a pen, ta-da! Now what you're gonna do is sit down, take some breaths, ground yourself, and then you're gonna set an intention. The intention is, what do you want to become aware of, or what do you want to get rid of? Personally, I liked the latter intention. I want to get rid of this, or I want to get rid of that. I want to clear out this, I want to clear out that, because you're gonna release this stuff. Now, think of it as taking out the garbage. We're in springtime. Since we're in the quarantine, a lot of people have probably started to clean their house and get rid of some old junk. This is a way for you to get rid of some old junk in your mind, okay? So you have your notebook, you have your pen, you set a timer on your watch for 2 minutes, okay? Set your intention. I want to clear out XYZ. So for example, I want to clear out my blocks around relationships, for example. So that's what I would do, set my timer, start, and then for 2 minutes, I just free flow and write. So, and it could be negative to start with, like, I am bad at relationships, I this, I that, I XYZ, blah, 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 blah. And then as you clear out the trash, it might start to become positive. But there's no judgment, there's no right or wrong, you're just free flowing and writing, free flowing and writing. Now, once the 2 minute timer goes off, you're going to stop writing, because some people could go forever, so you want to have a time limit. Then you're going to take the piece of paper and you're not going to read it. You're not going to pause and read, okay? You are going to actually crumble it up, right? You're going to crumble it up, and here it is. Here's my lighter. And you're going to burn it. All right, so I won't burn my whole paper, but you want to burn the whole thing up so that you don't have a chance to go back to it and reabsorb that trash. It's kind of like picking up something you threw away and eating it. You don't want to do that. All right. Once you've done the free flow and flame practice, take a few more deep breaths. Then you're going to create your positivity post. You're going to see how liberated your mind is. And then once you do that, you're going to give voice to the new scene in your consciousness. So, I am good at relationships. I am a loving partner. I am this, I am that. Whatever it is that comes to you, let it come. All right. So that's going to be your practice. So to review, today's about self-awareness. You're going to use the free flow and flame practice to clear out the junk in your mind. And then your positivity post is going to be about what sort of things come to mind once you've done that practice. All right. So if you made it this far, type self-awareness down in the comments so I know you listened all the way to the end. Again, I want to thank you, acknowledge you for being here. I really appreciate it and love you for all that you are and all that you do. All right, ciao for now.